Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Fred Steinmann joins us. He's director of the University Center for Economic Development at the College of Business at UNR. He's here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you. But we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday. Trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad on No Holds Barred Political Forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're pleased to welcome to the program for the first time Fred Steinmann. He is the director of the University Center for Economic Development, the College of Business at UNR. Pleasure to have you on the program, sir.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay, so we are a tech hub. What in the world does that mean?
So going back to the CHIPS and Science Act passed by Congress, signed by the administration, part of the CHIPS and Science Act was the Regional Technology and Innovation Hub program administered by the U.S. Economic Development Administration. And tech hubs that are designated in the United States are designated because there's an identification of some core competencies in a key technology focus area that are essential for national security goals. The Tech Hub designation for the state of Nevada, which encompasses 16 of Nevada's 17 counties, is a critical elements tech hub, which means we're predominantly focused on encouraging the growth of Nevada's lithium, battery, critical element, and other electric vehicle materials industry sector.
Oh, by the way, which county was left out?
Clark County.
Oh, really?
Not intentionally. Clark County actually had put together and submitted their own Phase 1 Tech Hub application, led by the government of Clark County, and the University of Nevada, Reno led the eventual Nevada Tech Hub Phase 1 application. And as part of the CHIPS and Science Act and regulatory requirements, you can't have tech hubs that overlap each other. And once a tech hub is designated, you can't change the physical designation and boundaries of the tech hub. That said, even though Clark County's tech hub Phase 1 application was not successful and the Nevada Tech Hub's application was successful, we've really been able to include a lot of organizations based in Clark County into the Nevada Tech Hub. So while technically it's 16 out of 17 counties. It's very much a statewide initiative, including many partners in Clark County.
Yeah, I was going to say, has the federal government not heard about Bo Bernhard and Blackfire? I mean, seriously.
Absolutely, and certainly not the presence in the private sector and in research and development in Las Vegas and the broader Clark County area, but certainly our partners and sister institutions in the Nevada system of higher education. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas, for example, is a major member of the Nevada Tech Hub Consortium. So we were very excited that we were able to start to include Clark County-based organizations into the Nevada Tech Hub moving forward.
And for those that don't know, I mean, there is so much cooperation between UNLV and UNR. People might be surprised to know just how much cooperation there is. What does this mean for folks that are within the environmental movement, but have seemed to be pushing back on every time that we try to move forward, even into a green economy, that there's pushback that, this plant, whatever, is going to be a concern. Now that it's a national security issue, does that pretty much trump everything?
I wouldn't say it trumps everything or anything.
I don't mean that you would disregard the environment, but that a lot of these lawsuits are going to go by the wayside because of that.
And I don't know if they'll necessarily go by the wayside either. One thing that you'd probably hear from Nevada's mining and natural resource extraction sector in the state is that it is probably the most heavily regulated industry in the country. And I certainly don't want to speak for any other organization other than the university, but even at the university, the research and development being undertaken in like the College of Engineering, the College of Science, there is always going to be an impact when it comes to extraction and mining, but the R&D efforts of the university, the efforts of the private sector, the efforts of the Tech Hub and our NSF Engines team and other partners, really trying to find those middle grounds where environmental and even cultural impacts are incorporated into the activities that are going to be focused on growing the industry sector moving forward.
And hasn't that been the case for a long time now?
Very much so. And again, I think it speaks, to the commitment of the private sector and the state, not just to meet federal environmental regulatory requirements, but to exceed them, to make sure that we're doing this responsibly and in a sustainable manner. That said, there are trade-offs when it comes to national security goals and objectives. In a lot of ways, the United States has fallen behind nations like China when it comes to these key technology focus areas. So there is a need, to invest in these key technology focus areas. But in addition to serving those national security goals, the Nevada Tech Hub, especially with its focus on critical elements and further down the supply chain when it comes to advanced manufacturing and recycling, is also really focused on meeting climate change mitigation goals that the administration and the state government have laid out as well. Not to mention, kind of the electrification that is occurring through the global economy. Again, we've lost competitive advantage to countries like China, but also India and our European allies when it comes to the development of this industry sector. And if oil and fossil fuels drove economic activity in the 20th century, electrification and renewable and alternative energy production is likely going to be the major driver of economic activity globally in the 21st century.
Okay, so one of the issues that pops up, because we're seeing so much growth, so many companies want to move here, build data storage centers, or like Tract, just lay out the development for data storage centers. NV Energy is doing a yeoman's job of doing their best to provide energy, but I'm hearing that projects that are coming online now are looking at getting their electrification at 2031. It's being pushed out that far. So how do you bridge that? How do you continue to attract companies to come here? Or are they all just realizing that, yeah, we make the announcement that we're coming on Monday, but it's going to be 5 to 7 years before we actually are able to provide that power. And does that power come primarily to Nevada, or is that power that we're going to push through to California because of their needs?
It's a good
There was
question.
probably, what, 20 questions in there?
No, I mean, if I had a crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be doing the work that I'm doing. It is a great question, and it's a great series of questions. Those are questions that are being asked by our entire consortium in the Nevada Tech Hub, our partners and our National Science Foundation Engines team, being asked across the private sector, and certainly not in the just in the critical element space, but across pretty much every single industry sector that is a contributor to economic activity in the state. As you noted, I'd certainly highlight the work that NV Energy, as well as our rural electric co-ops, are doing, to enhance generation of electricity, but also transmission of electricity to where it's going to be needed. We tend to focus heavily on the generation side. That's really only part of the equation. We have to think about transmission and how do we get that electricity to where it's actually going to be consumed. Certainly NV Energy and the co-ops and other utilities in the Western and Intermountain Western U.S. Have been making major investments in both generation and transmission to meet what we see is going to be, the demand probably for the next 50 plus years, not just in the next couple.
So let me ask you this then, just to butt in for a second. So Project GreenLink is a huge project here in the state. Is that enough? Do we need to be looking at GreenLink 2 already for down the road? Because these things take 20, 30 years to plan out.
I don't know if I'm the best to comment on that. I know that there are already conversations happening about, okay, what do we do after GreenLink? What's the next thing to come after that? And what's the next thing to come after that? I'd highlight, some of the work of our consortium members in the Nevada Tech Hub, like Mark IV, Victory Logistics and Fernley. They know that they're going to have immediate power demands for the development that they're doing in their facility and campus in Fernley. So they've been working closely with NV Energy to look at developing on-site electric production to serve that immediate need.
And there's going to be more and more of that, right?
I think so. I think the quote unquote, it's not really the best term for it today, but the way of microgridding, looking at isolating, major power needs in a very small geographic area, and then saying, well, what can we do to generate on-site electricity, be it through conventional, production or the incorporation of alternative energy. Company Sixco in Lincoln County has kind of cracked the code on how to sustainably harvest pinyon juniper in encroaching areas and turn it into a biofuel.
Really?
Lincoln County of all places, and they've received major international attention and commitments of investment to take that next step to further commercialize that energy production. So I think that it sort of seems to be the way the market is going. In a general sense, I think we get into a lot of trouble when we try to put our fingers on the scale and determine which market force, is going to be successful. Markets have a wonderful way of kind of sorting out, these types of questions. And you're starting to see that. Again, microgridding, quote unquote, is probably going to be part of that equation. Again, looking at like Mark IV and Victory Logistics and Fernley, but also developing new alternative energy sources like what Sixco is doing in Lincoln County. Not to mention the continued investments in geothermal and solar, and to a lesser extent, wind, especially in Nevada, I think is all part of the equation of how we address those future energy needs to power this electrified economy moving forward.
Okay, and what about fusion? Is that something that can even be done in Nevada because of the water needs, or is that something that could be done in a surrounding state and funneled into Nevada?
Possibly. Again,
Because you look at Microsoft and 3 Mile Island, they want to take the tower that wasn't part of the problem, that was shut down 5 years ago, and they want to restart that. It was shut down for economic reasons, but they want to restart that because they have data farms that they want to power, and that would be able to power it. So
I think to a certain degree, you got to look at all options on the table. I know, fusion/nuclear technology in Nevada, it has a history, and we have to be sensitive
really,
to
I
that
not
history.
noticed that.
But there are conversations ongoing, across our consortium members about what could potentially be the role of fusion technology, maybe micro, generation on a
Well, that's what I'm
microgridding
thinking
scale.
of. Yeah.
I think the technology has certainly advanced significantly over, say, the last 50 or so years. When it came to the key technology focus areas outlined in the CHIPS and Science Act, nuclear power was one of those key technology focus areas listed. We actually kind of had a challenge in determining what key technology focus area we were going to focus on, because we probably could have put 6 or 7 of them in our application. And certainly, with the importance of nuclear fusion technology in the Western Intermountain Western United States, it's a distinct possibility. Again, I think to a degree the market will sort that out over the coming years, and we'll wait to see what the market kind of produces.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back more with Fred Steinmann from the College of Business at UNR after this time out. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Fantastic cocktails and delicious food.
It's a good time to eat.
Over 500 hot slots, plus electronic table games.
It's a good time to play.
Player rewards and big-time jackpots.
It's a good time to win.
Ooh, your good time's a train wreck.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Fred Steinmann. He is the director of the University Center for Economic Development of the College of Business at UNR. You were talking about the marketplace, and it's interesting as people like myself who have purchased electric cars are dealing with the realities of electric cars in a place like Nevada. One enjoys it as a run-around town car, but I'm not driving to Winnemucca. No offense to Winnemucca, I'll take the Pathfinder. I can't drive to Las Vegas because I don't trust that there are going to be charging stations along the way. So more and more people are looking at hybrids, and you're seeing the major car companies going, maybe we shouldn't be doing fully electric, we should be doing hybrids. What are your thoughts on this? Because this is the marketplace making a decision.
It very much is the marketplace making a decision. And, certainly companies like Toyota and others, have been doing hybrid automobiles for a very long time now. It's a reliable, proven technology in the marketplace. And the fact that there is that alternative offer to consumers is, again, the marketplace sorting things out. I think you're going to continue to see widespread continued adoption of fully electric vehicles for sure. Not just
we don't really have a choice, do we?
I don't know if it's a choice, but it certainly seems that large global automakers are making that a bigger part of their overall portfolio of the badges and brands that they sell within their larger corporate umbrella. But certainly hybrid electric combined with internal combustion engine technology, it's well known, and it is also part of their portfolios. Either way, the demand for lithium-based batteries are still part of the equation. So over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, even if hybrid technology continues to dominate the marketplace, that's still good for the state of Nevada and what we can offer in terms of critical elements. Especially as probably some of those infrastructure concerns, charging stations, improvement to roadways, have to kind of catch up, to the adoption of a new disruptive technology in the marketplace.
I asked Doug Cannon of NV Energy if he was going to get into the mini-mart business, and he laughed and asked me why, and I said, well, if you're the third person in line for a charging station and it takes 45 minutes per car, maybe you're going to want to have some other things. He didn't take the bait on that. Sure. Let's take another break and we'll be right back.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Here on 7 at 7, we're bringing you the local headlines in just 7 minutes.
We've got you covered in the morning, evening, and for all breaking news, in between, and as it happens.
Life is busy, and we don't waste your time. Join us for local news now streaming on our YouTube page.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Fred Steinmann. He is the director of the University Center for Economic Development at the College of Business at UNR. So here's a question for you. Lithium. Mm-hmm. So at this point, we're hearing other technologies being mentioned, hydrogen and others. Do you have concerns that lithium may end up being bypassed along the way? Or are we so far into lithium with companies already buying up everything, for example, that Thacker Pass and Ioneer can produce, that we're just going to keep going no matter what?
Well, I don't think lithium is going to be dropped from the equation anytime soon. I think there's a long road, no pun intended, for the state of Nevada to become a global leader in this particular key technology focus area. Again, keep in mind that we don't just use lithium for electric vehicles or even hybrids. Your mobile device, laptops. If you want to put F-35s and F-22s and Abrams tanks in the field, you need lithium and other critical elements to make that happen. And Nevada is blessed being really the only state in the country that is a true one-stop shop for all those critical elements. And it's not just lithium, it's gold, it's copper, it's silver, it's everything else that goes into the production of these efforts. And that said, I mean, on the recycling side, the further downstream side, there's a lot of opportunities for the state, again, to expand on its existing global leadership in that particular space.
Okay, so what about processing? I mean, are we going to be able to get to that point?
Well, that's the critical point that we really emphasized in our application with the Economic Development Administration. And it's an area where, again, the United States is at a real disadvantage relative to China and other nations. They're the ones doing the processing. We may be doing the extraction, but that raw ore gets shipped to China, processed, and shipped back to us. Companies like Ioneer, Lithium Americas, others in the lithium extraction space are building on-site processing and refining capacity and capability. So being able to extract on-site and then do the processing on-site really does allow us to create that true lithium loop, thereby reducing our dependence on foreign actors for the processing of refined ore.
Okay, so just a quick answer to this. I mean, are we looking at a 5% processing capability with those two companies you're talking about worldwide, or are we looking at a larger number? Because we don't have anything, like you say, it's going to China, which doesn't make sense.
Right. It's hard to determine right now in terms of a percentage. I mean, the only active lithium mine really in the United States is Silver Peak.
Right.
So Lithium Americas and Ioneer and others, they're just starting up their operations.
And just Thacker Pass alone is a 40-year project.
Right.
So, those of us that are anxious, it's not going to happen tomorrow. We're out of time. Sure. I've thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Please come back.
Absolutely.
Got lots more to talk to you about.
Love to.
And we'll be right back.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
We wouldn't steer you wrong with the gold standard of steaks at Joel's Chop House. Indulge in dry-aged steaks, seafood, Wagyu tomahawks, located on the second floor, and great views of the Strip.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day on various platforms, including television, radio, our website, audio and video podcasts, YouTube. If you want to find the show, you can find it pretty darn easily. And we cover politics, business, health, and education. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next broadcast.